Welcome back to my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala. We were doing chapter carbon and its compounds for 10 Cbse. So last time what we saw? We saw that how carbon cannot form the carbon cation or carbon anion. What will happen if carbon forms carbon cation or carbon anion? Right. So the both the ways it's not possible. So what's the third way out? So we know that the covalent bonds are formed in carbon. Let's see what the carbon does. So you will see here that carbon overcomes these problems by sharing its valence electrons. Now you'll see that carbon is there, and you'll see in the valence shell, in the first shell, that is the K shell, I've got this two electrons, and then in the valence shell I have got this four electrons. Right. So what it does, it shares this valence electrons with many other elements as such. Okay. So for example, if I want to give you example of hydrogen, you'll see hydrogen which is having a single electron in its valence shell. So hydrogen also requires one electron to fulfill its orbit. So what it will do? So it will share, carbon will share its electron with hydrogen like this. See here. So what it will do? It will share its electron like this with hydrogen. Okay, so it has got four electrons as such. So what it will do? All the four electrons it will share with hydrogen, for instance in this case. But it can share this electron with many other elements also to form molecule. Right? The shared electron belongs to the outermost shell of both the atoms. Here you see hydrogen, the outermost shell, carbon, the outermost shell. Okay, and lead to both atoms attaining the noble gas configuration. If you see hydrogen, if it achieves one more electron like this, what will happen? It will here achieve a noble gas configuration. And here, if you see hydrogen, if it carbon, if it now makes a bond with hydrogen, then what will happen is that here you see. So hydrogen carbon also fulfills noble gas configuration. Now before going on the compounds of carbon, let us take some examples. Simple molecules formed by sharing of valence electrons. Right, there are many other compounds which have the covalent bonds. Now let's see this compounds one by one. Okay, now let's go to the electron dot structure of hydrogen. Okay, one of the simplest molecule formed in this manner, that is hydrogen. So hydrogen, you will see that it's a single electron is there, right, in its valence shell. Here you see a single electron is there in the valence shell, right. So as we have learned earlier, the atomic number of hydrogen is what? It is 1. So therefore, hydrogen has one electron in its K shell. It has got only one shell, so that is the K shell, right. So K shell, one electron is there, and it requires one more electron to fill its K shell. If it gets one more electron, it will attain a noble gas configuration, that of helium, right. So two hydrogen atoms share their electron to form the molecule of hydrogen. If now two hydrogens are coming close together, and if they share their electrons, what will happen? We'll get hydrogen molecule, right. Okay, when two hydrogens share their electrons among themselves, this allows each hydrogen atom to attain the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas, that is helium. Okay, which has got two electron in its K shell. If you see helium is having two electron, right. So we can depict this using a dot and crosses to represent valence electrons, right. So we can use cross or dots in that case. Okay, so this shared pair of electron is said to constitute a single covalent bond. Now if you see, right, see here, two crosses are coming together, so means a pair of cross or a pair of dot represent a single covalent bond, right. So a single covalent bond is represented by that. Okay. A single covalent bond can also be represented by a line. Okay, here you see a line is there like this. So what we have done here, see here, so they have shared the electron and this is my hydrogen molecule. So this is my electron dot structure for hydrogen. Okay, now let's see some other compounds. Now let's see electron dot structure for chlorine molecule. Alright. So chlorine, we know that atomic number of chlorine is what? It is 17, 1717. Okay. So chlorine is my 17. And if you see the electronic configuration, it's what? It is 2 electron in the first shell and then the next you have got how much? You have got 8 electrons in the next shell. See here, K shell 2 electrons, then L shell we have got 8 electrons, right? Okay, and then comes the last but not the least is my valence shell. Okay, right? That is my M shell. M shell contains how many? 7 electrons are there. Okay, 7 electrons are there in the M shell. Right, here you see the 7 electrons are there in the M shell. Okay, so now what happens is that chlorine needs what? Chlorine needs one more electron to complete its outermost shell. Alright, so we have represented here like this. See here, 7 electrons are there. One more electron chlorine needs to become stable. Then what chlorine will do? Chlorine will combine with another chlorine, right, by sharing one electron each. See here, to complete its octet. Therefore, chlorine forms what? Chlorine forms a diatomic molecule. Here you see there is the sharing has been done. So diatomic molecule chlorine is formed. Right. And you will see that a pair of crosses, as I've told you earlier, a pair of crosses or a pair of dot represent a single covalent bond. So here you have a single covalent bond which has been formed. Alright. So now let us see one more example. Electron dot structure of oxygen molecule. Alright. So now here you see in oxygen molecules what we have is that oxygen molecule, what is the atomic number of oxygen? You will see oxygen atomic number, we know that it is how much? It is 8. So my electronic configuration will be what? It's 2 and 6. Alright. Okay, so what I have represented here, that 6 electrons are there, okay, in the valence shell. So I have represented the valence shell here. Okay, right. So to attain the noble gas configuration, that of what? Of neon. Oxygen has to do what? Oxygen has to gain more 2 electrons, right? Okay, it has to gain more 2 electrons. So I have written here 6 electrons in the valence shell, right? So what oxygen will do? Oxygen will share its 2 electron with another atom of oxygen to give a oxygen molecule. So 2 electrons contributed by each oxygen atom gives rise to a shared pair of electron, right? 2 shared pair of electron. Here you see how many crosses are there? There are 4 crosses. So means what? This is 2 pairs, right? So 2 pairs of shared pair of electrons are there. So now you will see that 2 pairs means what? It means a double bond, right? Double covalent bond. Okay. So that is the double covalent bond which has been formed in this case. This is said to constitute a double bond between the two atoms. Right? Student, I'm sure you have understood today's topic. So kindly like, share and subscribe my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala for more informative videos.